Hey, we are live. It is Next Round Cocktail Hour. Everybody's on their phone.
What?
Lance Taylor, guest bartender today with Kelly Hunter and Brittany Wagner. We're hanging out. We're drinking some Chianti today from our friends at Constellation Brands, the makers of Next Round Cocktails. So yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Got breaking news, by the way.
I'm trying to read.
Hello.
Looks like Auburn's got
Oh
a
God,
coach.
sorry. It's making noise.
That's
Oh my
what-
God. Okay. Get it off.
Yeah.
I know when you can see us, it's not good.
Yeah,
I
Auburn
know,
has a
okay.
coach,
Okay.
it looks like.
It looks like that's breaking news.
That's exciting.
Breaking news, y'all. Auburn has hired, can I say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Coach Hugh Freeze is the new head football coach at Auburn University, according to multiple sources on social media.
Yeah, Chris Lowe, who really is in the know when it comes to SEC coaches and just SEC in general, he has confirmed that he has accepted the offer, and that's Auburn's next coach. I think it's a good hire. I don't know if I'm in the minority. I'll get to you in a second because I know you know him. Kelly, on the surface, I know he doesn't blow you away.
He doesn't. I don't know. I think. I guess what I need to know is, was Auburn looking for a splashy hire?
I mean, I'm sure they were. That's
Were they
probably
looking
why they were
for
going
just-
after Kiffin.
Well, I know that. But so, if they feel like they got a capable hire, all right. But I mean, are Auburn fans right now going?
I don't know. I mean, I would be somewhat excited based on what you had with Harsin. Some people will say this is Malzahn all over again. I don't think so, but we'll see.
I don't. I mean,
I like Hugh Freeze as a coach. Now, I question the last 3 weeks where they lose to UConn, they lose to Virginia Tech, and they lost this past weekend. And New Mexico State is a 25-point favorite.
it's the Auburn curse because look, Lane Kiffin was having the
I
same
know,
problem.
it's
So
like
it's
the
like
Auburn-
your name is linked with Auburn, and suddenly you're
Start
playing.
losing.
I don't know. I guess obviously, will he more interesting? How will he deal with recruiting, and how will he recruit?
Well, I'll take it to this
Hey!
one because
Perfect segue.
she knows. Last chance, I mean, we've talked about it a million
Retweet one more
times. You
time.
were in Scuba. You had these coaches coming in and out, and Hugh Freeze was one of the main fixtures on that campus because he was so close. So you got to establish a relationship with him. You watched him recruit. Now, back in the day, some of his recruiting tactics were called out by the NCAA, and ultimately he lost his job as part of that with Ole Miss. But now everything he did back then is deemed legal now. But let's just start with Hugh Freeze, the guy as the recruiter when he would come in, charismatic guy.
Yeah. I mean, to me, he was one of the head coaches that had the best personality. He always very well related to the players. He didn't always, obviously we sent multiple quarterbacks there, Randall Mackey, which he wasn't the recruiter for Randall, but he did coach him towards the end. And then obviously Bo Wallace and Chad Kelly, both were East Mississippi guys that Freeze recruited to Ole Miss. He also had several of our D linemen, offensive linemen, a linebacker that he recruited. I mean, we sent more guys to Ole Miss and Alabama my time at East Mississippi than any other schools in the country. And he would come in. I mean, he obviously would send assistants, but he would come in and the players seemed to really like him. I always really liked him. I felt like he was probably in my top 5 as far as just coaches that were easy to deal with, nice guy. I was shocked when all the stuff broke about him because I never saw that side of him. He never hit on me. He was never inappropriate. He was never like that. He developed quarterbacks. I mean, Bo played for him at Arkansas
He
State.
did. And that's one of the things I said about him over the last couple of weeks. People are like, he's like Gus Malzahn. I'm like, quarterbacks got worse.
Mm-hmm.
They regressed under Gus Malzahn, but quarterbacks get better under Hugh Freeze. And I think Robbie Ashford's one of these guys watching him in the Iron Bowl. A guy can't hit the side of a barn right now with a football, but the guy is so athletic, and Hugh develops him mechanically. This guy could be really good.
I think you have to think about Bo Wallace played for him, went to Arkansas State to play for Coach Freeze, was the backup quarterback, did not start, transferred, came back to a junior college because he was unhappy not starting at Arkansas State. And then Coach Freeze comes in and recruits him to Ole Miss. He is also being recruited by Mississippi State and some other SEC schools at the same time. And he chooses to go back to the coach that essentially benched him, his first year as a college athlete. And then you watched Bo really flourish under that system, under Coach Freeze's leadership. Same thing with Chad Kelly. You saw Chad kind of emerge and flourish. He's the only other SEC coach to beat Coach Saban twice in his own stadium. So, look, I like the guy. I liked him as a person, and I liked him as a coach. Our players always seem to really like him. I don't know.
So it's the Next Round Cocktail Hour with Brittany Wagner, Kelly Hunter. I'm Lance Taylor. It's brought to you by Constellation Brands. We are drinking the Rufino Reserve Chianti. I wish we had 2 bottles, but we've got 1, so we're rationing right now. But you can pick this up at all of the local supermarkets. Go out there, support what we do. Blakelee's Bouquets, you can smell the fresh roses.
They smell. I walked in the room and I was like, oh my God, I can smell them from here.
Blakelee's is great for anniversary arrangements, new baby gifts, birthday flowers, just taking your significant other, a bouquet of flowers.
Going to a Christmas party? Grab a bottle of wine, some flowers.
It's perfect.
Good to go.
BlakeleysBouquets.com. We'll give you more information on those.
But,
this isn't Ask Us Anything. We've got a couple of questions. Go ahead.
But what I was going to say is we walk in and we hear one Auburn fan here just ranting and raving, not in a positive way.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's our social media director, Taylor. She just graduated from Auburn this past May.
But I'm just using her as an example right now, just like.
Well, like she was all in on Lane Kiffin or Deion, which are splash hires.
I also like Lane.
And I also think there was a sentimental value to Cadillac that people were really like, oh, we want Carnell. We're pulling. I mean, he's a likable guy. It's a great story, but I don't think he was ready to take on.
As long as he stays on the staff, and Hugh Freeze has already said, at least what we've seen reported, that Cadillac is going to be retained. So, you've still got him. It's not like he's going anywhere.
Right.
Okay, first question. Best and worst coaches Brittany has dealt with and true feelings of Buddy Stevens.
Oh. I think my true feelings of Buddy Stevens have been said so many times. Best and worst. Worst, I would say probably Urban Meyer.
That guy didn't do
just because
anything.
Was he just a dick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything.
He thought he was above,
Yeah.
all things, and that he could tell everybody what to do, and that we were going to run and do it because he said it, and he was sadly mistaken. But yeah, not a fan.
I'm going to talk about an unlikable person.
Mm-hmm.
So who was the best?
Okay, best.
Honestly, when you deal with the same people over and over again, they move up on your totem pole just because you see them so much.
Mm-hmm.
So, there were, we dealt a lot with Alabama. There were some assistants at Alabama that I really liked. Now, Everett Withers was one of them that was at Alabama for a long time and then took some head jobs. He was always really great to deal with. Grantham.
Todd Grantham?
He was like a meticulous detail guy, which I loved because especially in academics, like I loved a coach that wanted to know every single detail of an academic. Yeah, and I loved that because so many coaches would be like, oh, just kind of pass by, and he like wanted it in detail, which I loved. I loved dealing with Coach Freeze. There were tons. Of really great coaches to deal with, and Kentucky was always really great to deal with.
Was that when Stoops was there?
Yeah. Loved him. Still have a signed picture of him in my office today.
I was going to ask do you notice a difference in the way they carry themselves? We talk about an up and coming coach versus an established coach when they come in to talk to you. Is there any difference in?
Well, a lot of times the head coaches fly in on a helicopter and landed on a patch of grass, which is super annoying.
Probably more ego too, right?
Super annoying. They have an ego. Like they want, they would have the year before been an assistant and they would have walked in your office and sat down and shot the shit with you for an hour. And then all of a sudden they become a head coach and they make an appointment. And it's like, come on.
I got 5
are you
minutes.
serious?
Yeah.
I've been talking to you for 4 years.
Yeah.
Like now all of a sudden you're the HC and you think you're better than me.
I figured that there was that all of a sudden that the ego has.
And some people earned it.
Yeah.
Saban earned the right to kind of have that attitude, but there were others that didn't. I'll say somebody that I dealt with that I was kind of enamored with just because of the name, I guess, was Weiss when he was at Kansas, I guess.
Charlie Weiss?
Charlie Weiss.
Wow.
Like comes in my office, plops down on the couch. Just like talking, had his Super Bowl ring on, telling me old stories. Another guy that I absolutely loved, kind of like a Pep-Hall, kind of like that guy that you just want to hug, was Steve Spurrier.
Oh.
Loved Steve Spurrier.
We sat with him at a dinner
him.
one night and we were driving home and my husband, I could tell he was like, and I was like, what? He goes, I hate that I like that guy now. I'm like, I know, because he's like, when you meet him one-on-one, super relatable, super likable.
So nice. Yeah.
Next Round Cocktail Hour is brought to you by our friends at Constellation Brands. We're drinking the Rufino Chianti, very good. Wish, again, we had another bottle we're trying to ration here. Also brought to you by Blakelee's Bouquets. You see our nice flower arrangement here. It's an Ask Us Anything. So we don't necessarily have to talk about this. We are going to do a special next round. The guys are going to jump on when we get done here, and we're gonna talk about this Hugh Freeze situation.
You're gonna be in here?
Yeah, we might as well just be in here.
Super cash.
Yeah.
Can I be the guest bartender?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys can bartend.
Sure.
Yeah,
Go back there with the shakers.
I won't say anything. I'll just.
that is
make the
finally okay. So Dirty Deaf, you missed Brittany's thoughts on Hugh Freeze. She likes him. She said he was a gentleman, charismatic.
Sorry,
She knew he was cheating back in the day. Buying players.
Not
recruiting,
not the other.
Recruiting.
Yeah.
And look, and there's reports on what these escorts were used for. I know people are going to say they're still escorts. Doesn't matter how you were using them.
I don't.
Look,
I know nothing about that.
obviously Auburn was able to get past that. People make mistakes. Dirty Deaf, Kelly, most talented person you worked with in radio through your years.
That's
Lance
easy.
Taylor.
He's sitting right over my
Okay.
shoulder.
Well, that's very sweet.
I mean,
Outside of me.
outside of
Yeah,
you.
take me off the table to not make it awkward.
Gosh, I don't. You know, and you worked with him for just a little bit, but Ray Mellick is crazy smart.
Yeah, no, Ray is.
He was super fun to work with. He was former columnist at the Birmingham News. He was super fun to work with just because he was like a professor. Like he brought a whole other level to when you were talking about an issue because he would know.
Bringing up marine biology.
Oh, exactly. And he would know the absolute bones and structure of all sorts. I mean, he was fascinating to work with. I would have to say there were only a handful of people I really did not like working with in radio, but for the most part, I don't know. I mean, you and I had a good time. We had a good.
We did. We actually did. And I think it was just 1 year together, right? Yeah.
It was a shame. I got knocked up. Not by you, but just,
Wasn't mine.
No,
Detail.
Mine. Yeah, I mean, she dropped some out as
I never got knocked up like that.
I mean, I want to ask about the escort thing real quick. So, if your 17-year-old son is being recruited, and you hear later about something along those lines, I mean, how would you feel?
Well, I guess I would want to. I'd really want to know the situation. But if it's a guy. I mean, look, you can't give a justification for this. All I would say is there's a lot of guys that do a lot of things that we don't know about.
Oh, gosh, yes.
And Hugh made the mistake, like obviously made more than just this mistake.
The
but
mistake of getting caught.
Yeah, but also I think using the university phone. Was that not how he got busted? I thought it was.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Well, I think you have an NCAA investigation.
And
Would
that's
he
what
have
brought
ever
that up.
gotten busted
Probably
if the
not.
NCAA violations the NCAA hadn't been investigating because of recruiting violations? I don't know that any of this would have ever come out. So,
was there anyone you didn't like working with? Brooks wants to know.
Yeah, there was one guy I worked on mornings with that I absolutely could not stand, and just like that feeling of when you walk in the door when you work with someone and your shoulders are already slumped down because you're like,
yeah.
That's defeating,
When you get the
especially working in
shakes.
the mornings.
When you
It is,
hear
and
their
you're just
voice
like,
in the hallway and you
oh,
start to get the shakes.
Yeah, and then you leave and you're just like, even a shower doesn't get just the anger and ickiness off.
How long did you work with that specific person?
Gosh, too long probably. I think I was stuck in that job for like 4 years.
Holy shit!
I know.
Eight for me.
I know. See, and that.
Yeah, but who did you work with that was bad?
Buddy Stevens.
Oh yeah.
Did we all witness that?
And I guess you had to have direct contact with him all the time. Did he
Honestly,
care about
the last
grades,
couple
though?
of years, I found ways to not have direct contact.
Did he care about
with him.
grades though?
Only when they were not
Eligible.
in alignment with what he wants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only when they impacted what he wanted.
Only
to,
when
but
they
sure.
impacted eligibility.
Yeah.
Jason is right. Burner phone is the key. I sent out a tweet when Hugh got busted way back in the day, and I mean, burner phone's $15.
I know.
Yeah. He could have gone that route and probably would have been okay. But
Or just
who knows where he would be, or just don't do it.
Do it.
I get that. Again, this is the next round happy hour.
That's a good point.
With
Such
Brittany
a hard
Wagner
concept for everyone.
and Kelly Hunter. I'm guest bartending today. Lance Taylor, Dunaway, and Brown will be here in just a little bit. We are live. Like and subscribe. And again, you can ask us anything. We've got some submitted questions I'll get to. If you're just joining right now, Hugh Freeze has been named Auburn's next head coach. That is being reported by various outlets, including Chris Lowe with ESPN.
So this also ties into escorts. White Lotus right now.
It's great.
It's a great show. I watched all but like the last 8 minutes of last night's episode.
Okay, I was about to say the last scene in last night's show, a little too much for me.
Okay,
but
see, I have not.
Something's too much for you?
it was like, I kind of knew it was coming, but then when I saw it, I was like, holy shit.
It's
I haven't
it takes
started
place
it yet.
in Sicily, and it's got just between the Chianti, the talk of escorts. I was like, this is very white lotus.
Yeah, it's a really good show. It's very.
I saw season 1. I just
Okay.
haven't dabbled
no,
into
season
the next season
even
yet.
better, I think, than season 1. in my
Okay.
opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think season 2 is better. It's just a very sexual show.
Yeah.
But this final scene is, anyway,
Okay, let's go.
Ask us anything. Eddie says the first few minutes were great too.
Yeah, man.
Of
Which-
season
I like
2?
the chick with the pepper on her arm.
What?
Which one?
The pepper.
She Italian? Or,
Yeah, the Italian one.
Well, there are 3 Italian ones.
Not the one that plays music.
Not her.
Her buddy.
The real escort.
Yeah.
Okay, the one who
Yeah.
slept. Okay, yeah.
Her
okay.
real last name is Tabasco. And
Nice.
She's got a Tabasco pepper.
Okay, I can't say I've
Like
noticed that
tattooed
about
on her
her.
arm?
Yeah.
I can't say that. That was probably the least of the things I noticed about her, that she had a Tabasco pepper.
You know, she doesn't like to wear clothes.
She
does
has other assets
Yeah.
that mainly they're more pronounced in the show than like
they are. But I
So-
noticed the tattoo sitting at
I'm
the table a
impressed
lot.
that you noticed it's a tattoo.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was the first couple of episodes, and the last couple have gotten a little more, shall we say, transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, we're drinking Chianti. It's the Ruffino. You can pick this up at your local supermarket. The Piggly Wiggly's out there, Publix, they've got it. Constellation Brands brings you that. They're also a proud sponsor here of Next Round Cocktail Hour. Again, ask us anything. And we are talking about the Hugh Freeze situation as well. Spurrier is great as long as he's not taking a job at your team. Boy, he was good back in the day.
Yeah.
Hell, South Carolina, 3-11 win
come on.
seasons.
Yeah, give the man credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We sat with him right after the season ended. It was Carson Palmer who was on The Bachelor.
Yes.
No.
No. Jesse
Jordan.
Palmer.
Jesse Palmer, thank you. Totally different Palmer. But
Yeah.
it was-
Jordan Rodgers and Jesse Palmer, right?
Okay, well,
Yes.
Jesse Palmer was on
Both married too,
The
by the way.
Bachelor, and we were sitting with him shortly afterwards. I was like, "Did you watch?" I was like, "Yeah, I watched. The kid's got no game." And I was like,
Wow.
"We're gonna sit here and talk Bachelor." So, yeah, I love Steve Spurrier. I think
Yeah.
I hope he's enjoying whatever he's doing.
Jason, we are not having fava beans. Do you get the Chianti joke
I
there?
did. Yeah, that's okay.
Sauce and lambs.
Yeah.
I know.
Very
So, okay, so I know y'all.
good. I love this
discussed-
question, by the way.
Okay,
What
I know
is
y'all
it?
discussed it earlier today, but Michigan, Ohio State. Like, if you
Go
are
Big
an Ohio-
Blue.
if you are a Buckeyes fan, what are you doing today?
Well, I mean, I'm sick to my stomach because I not
And they
that-
came in there and they kicked your ass.
Yeah, in back-to-back years.
Yeah.
But coming into your place where it's, it seems like after the first quarter, Ohio State had controlled that game. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, C.J. Stroud seems like he's wasted now.
Yeah.
Bryce Young for Alabama seems like he was wasted. But both of those teams could still get in if a couple of things happen this week. We'll see what happens. Okay, again,
go
it's
ahead.
Ask Us
Yes.
Anything
Sorry.
with these two. No, it's all good. Brought to you by Constellation Brands, Blakelee's Bouquets, anniversary arrangements, new baby gifts, birthday flowers. You said just a Christmas party, bring it
Yeah.
along. They smell great.
Smell so good.
BlakeleysBouquets.com. Okay, here was a submitted question. This is Lexi from Tampa. My boyfriend consistently wears open-toed shoes, but does not keep up with his foot hygiene. How can I tell him he needs to do something about it without being rude?
Take him to get a pedicure and pay for it. Couples pedicure. Hey, babe, we're going to get a couples pedicure on me. Bam. Thank you, ma'am.
If I don't mean to sound like a battle axe, but oh my gosh, like if you're in a relationship with someone,
Cut their
don't you
toenails.
think that you could be like, okay, that is disgusting. You have got to do something about
Yeah, like
that.
I even so one of the things in the summer, I'll have people over to the pool to swim all the time. And like a couple of my friends, when they come over, they got bad toenails. I'll call them out on it.
Yeah.
Like you got to cut those. It's
You're like,
not that
dude.
difficult.
You're like, a pedicure's $30. Go.
I don't understand though. Doesn't it hurt? Like when you have long toenails, I mean, if mine are even close to being too long, it hurts in your shoes and
Yeah, but-
stuff. And
yeah,
like in the bed
yeah.
when you roll over and the toenail
Oh.
gets caught.
I mean, that is
Ugh.
a job though. That you're like, God bless the people that do it. I was
Oh,
getting my nails done last
disgusting.
week, and this woman who's a little bit older than me walks in. She's like, "Do you have time to do my mom and my dad's toes?" And I was like, "Oh dear." And then I hear the woman on the phone with the podiatrist. She's like, "Yeah, they're having trouble cutting him here." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, there's not enough."
I
money."
dated
Oh,
this girl-
that's so sad to
in the
me. Like,
world.
please God, let me have a man by the time I get that old that I can't cut my own toenails.
Listen, I had a girl I dated in high school for a minute, and she was Greek, and there's a reason, a point to that story. But we went to her grandparents, and and she was the only one. Her grandmother on that side had passed, so her grandfather lived by himself, and she would go over there to just cut his nails.
Yeah, like what am I gonna do?
But
Who's
those
gonna
damn
cut my
things-
toenails?
The older you get, the more like wood they look like.
Oh,
And
my dad's are disgusting.
Oh man,
Sorry, Dad.
No,
but
but
he's a runner, so that's why his are
Well,
so
and I was
bad.
gonna say he only has probably 7 of them because like when
yeah,
you run that
when you run that much, they just
yeah.
fall off. They get
Yeah.
black and fall off.
Yeah, you gotta get on as long as you maintain. It's kind of like trying to somewhat stay in shape. As long as you get out in front of it.
Well, yeah, and I would think if you're in a relationship, that's something that you need to address because if this relationship progresses, you're going to come up on a lot of more difficult conversations other than you need to take care of your feelings.
Like, look, if I have that big long hair coming
Tell
out
me,
of my
please.
chin, I need you when we're laying there and you're looking gazingly in my eyes. I need you to be like, honey,
Yeah.
massive hair out of your chin.
Well,
Like,
you
we're
would
gonna
think
need
that
to do
most
something about
would
that.
because they don't want somebody else to see that shit, right?
Exactly.
That's a reflection.
That's what you're
upon
here
both of
for,
us.
dude.
It is.
Yeah, like,
It is.
Tell me.
They're flying your brand.
Yeah.
I get it.
I don't need that out there. I have enough trouble as it is. So just, yeah.
Next round cocktail hour with Brittany Wagner, Kelly Hunter. I'm Lance Taylor. It's brought to you by our friends at Blakelee's Bouquets, Blakelee'sBouquets.com. Constellation Brands will bring it the Chianti. Question here from Dirty Duff again. Being in Mississippi, what did Brittany think of the movie The Blind Side? Let me answer before you go there. I thought it was really cheesy. And I cannot believe she won Best Actress for that role. Okay.
Well, who else was up for it then?
I don't remember.
Okay, go ahead.
But it was like a Hallmark movie.
It was a Hallmark. But it's a feel-good movie.
It's a feel-good movie, but so are probably Hallmark movies, right?
I
Oh,
don't know.
no.
Please go ahead. No, I liked it. My kids.
I
loved that
love
movie.
The Blind Side. It's one of my favorite movies.
That's the only time I've ever
Love it.
heard someone say like something really glowing about Nick Saban's personality and persona. Like until she said that, I was like, I've never thought that he was attractive or charismatic. But when
Until Tui said.
when she says that when he's
No, I love that movie.
it's a feel good movie.
Loved Sandra Bullock in it. Met the Tuies. Met Michael Orr and I are
By the way,
friends
I
on
like
Twitter.
Sandra Bullock
Like,
a lot.
love-
I'm just saying she's done much
all of
better
it.
work.
Oh, I agree.
And Gravity to Blindside.
Yeah,
was
I don't
night
see
and
that
day.
being ruled other than trying to pick up a Memphis accent. I really don't know how much heavy lifting she did as an actress in that movie. But it was a great story and it was a great movie.
Yeah.
My kids.
Was
loved
it
that movie.
sensationalized at all, or is it pretty legitimate?
I don't know. I mean, according
Well, you're from
to
Mississippi.
we don't all
just
know
like
each other.
Disney takes a script, and they're always going to take
Well,
it to
I
the
think
next level. And that's what it seemed
anytime-
kind of like a Disney movie.
Yeah, I think anytime you take a inspired by true story movie, there's going to be parts of it. I mean, there's going to be parts of it that they sensationalize. And I think Michael Orr has come out since then and kind of said, like, look, all of this wasn't necessarily true. The Tuies, I've read the Tuies book, which it's like in their own words, the story, and it's very similar. I mean, there's a little bit of differences, but very similar. I haven't read Michael's book, so I don't know. But he just got married, by the way.
I saw that.
So a girl he'd been dated for 7 years. I'm like,
Good for her. Sticking
dude,
around.
why wait so long,
But
Lance?
doesn't that
Brittany, this one from Jason. Loved your TikToks. Do you do a lot of TikToks?
Oh God,
do you TikTok?
no. I just did one the other day for my birthday because I do them with Kennedy.
Okay.
I told you we need to figure out how to do one.
I know.
So that we
I
can,
need to
promote
do
this.
them more because I do have quite a few followers on there, and
Do
I
you
know that if
dance?
yes.
Okay.
I was a dancer growing up.
Okay, so you.
But I am old as
Yeah.
F.
Not as us. No, you're not old.
Yeah.
Old
I am
as
old
either one of
AF.
us,
And so it is harder and harder for me to learn those damn things. Like what would have used to have taken me like 10 minutes to learn. Now I'm in there for like 2 hours.
I'm in the
Like,
background of all of
what?
my kids. Because
How do
I'm
I
usually
do
cooking
this?
in the kitchen?
And so, yeah.
Hey, it's an Ask Us Anything. Patrick showing up late. Did Freeze ever hit on Brittany?
No.
He did not?
No, he was always super respectful, super nice, thoughtful. I mean, just I've got nothing negative to say about the guy, which I know people are going to be mad about that.
I wouldn't
but
think there's
just
high-priced
don't.
escorts in Mississippi either.
Oh, but down
I
by the
don't
casinos.
know if there are or not, but like I
I'm
don't
not saying high
never.
price. I'm just
Yeah.
saying they're down by the casinos.
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty of them.
I mean, look, but even like in my office, look, there were plenty of coaches that were completely inappropriate.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, it was the
and
one who
even-
was most persistent. who kept-
Absolutely, but I am not going to say that name out loud because he worked at the University of Alabama.
Ooh.
But
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking
but I mean, he would be in my office, like, you know, by ourselves. Like, I'm talking about never, ever did the man say one inappropriate word to me.
There you go.
And I'm
Auburn
being
fans, be
completely
excited.
honest.
I think the guy can coach.
He's
I
a
think
I
he's
don't
gentleman.
know. I don't know.
I know some people are excited. Some people are indifferent right now. Some people are disappointed.
Aw,
Only
give the man
time
a
will tell.
chance. Give the man a chance.
I did hear that he bought a lot on Lake Martin.
Wow.
No, like last year.
Mm.
So I don't know if he just wanted to have a lake house on Lake Martin, or knew this
I
was
love that real estate became like a pertinent question in the past couple weeks. Like, I heard Lane Kiffin got a condo. I heard that, and you're like,
Yeah.
what?
I think Kevin still has a condo in California somewhere.
Could.
I mean, I don't think it means that as much as people want it to
I remember
mean,
people used
you
to
know?
always say John Gruden's breaking ground outside of Knoxville.
Oh,
That would come up every year.
better be glad that never
Good
came
for
to
him.
fruition.
Brooks wants to know y'all's favorite Christmas movie.
Oh man.
See, and this is another one of those things. I think some of these Christmas movies, like A Christmas Story, I was talking about this the other night on Saturday night. I had some people over.
Mhm.
I think it's so overrated.
Mm.
It's become over. I think, yeah, it started off as kind of an obscure.
Yeah, and I think almost everything would get to that point because, I still like Christmas Vacation. I
Yeah.
love Elf, but
Yeah.
all that stuff, the more and more you
I like
watch
Elf.
it, I guess it kind of gets a little diluted and maybe a
I
little
don't,
yeah,
I'm
overplayed.
not a
trying
big Christmas movie person, which sounds Scroogey to say.
Me
Bad
too.
Santa is by far my favorite, though. That's
I
the
don't know if
shit.
I've seen that.
I've seen that.
Is that
one.
a Jennifer Aniston one?
No, it's
It's
Billy Bob
with
Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton. And
Oh.
you think it's raunchy.
Oh, it is.
Oh, well,
yeah.
the one with Jennifer
Wow.
Aniston and the holiday party, that one's raunchy too.
Oh, I hadn't seen that. Oh, no,
Yes,
I
you
have.
have.
Office Christmas Party.
Yeah.
TJ Miller. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that one. Jason Bateman.
Kind of raunchy.
It is very raunchy.
I like Jason Bateman a lot. I don't know. Elf, maybe. I like oh shoot. You know what one I hate? The Sound of Music. Why is that a Christmas movie?
I don't
is
know,
it
but
a Christmas movie?
Effing
badass
hate
movie.
that movie. It's too damn long. Too much singing. No, not a fan.
You're not a
Y'all see-
musical
okay,
guy.
I
Right?
am a musical person, but not that one.
Well, last week I had to
Ew.
leave, and my family was watching that movie Spirited on Apple.
Oh,
Which
is
they're
it
like,
good?
another damn song, and they're like, guys, it's a musical.
Yeah, there was no chance when I saw the trailer for that with Will Ferrell
Yeah.
and Ryan Reynolds.
Well, I wanted to watch it because of Ryan Reynolds.
They were
I tried to
super
get
bummed.
Kennedy to watch it with me last night. She wouldn't do
They
it.
were super bummed to find out that they kept breaking into song. I'm like,
No,
sorry, guys,
thank
I'm
you.
out.
Next round cocktail hour brought to you by our friends at Constellation Brands. We're drinking the Reserve Rufino Chianti,
Mm.
established in 1877.
Nice.
We have.
Anyway, it's very good. You can get it at all local supermarkets. Make sure you pick up a bottle of that. Blakelee's Bouquets. We're going to hang out for a few more minutes, taking your questions, and we're going to jump on, and we are going to do a little extended period talking about Hugh Freeze.
But do you think, again, I know y'all talked about this a little bit earlier in the day, but I know what Deion was offered the job at Colorado.
Mhm.
Is that what we're hearing?
That's what we're hearing.
Do you really think that he is going to take a Division I job, or is that? I mean, not that he doesn't have a Division I job now, but do you think that that's a lot of freaking work?
No, it is. I think what Deion has done is he wanted to elevate the SWAC. He's got
Mhm.
plenty of money. I think it's a
HBCUs,
great
yeah.
opportunity for his kid,
Mm-hmm.
who's a really good quarterback, to really get in the mainstream. I think he wants to try it out. It's a new challenge for Deion. I think he's going to the wrong place in Colorado. I don't know if he's ever visited Boulder. It's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
It
yeah.
doesn't seem like prime kind of spot.
Cold.
Like I can understand. I know Dillingham now is going to Arizona State. I could see Prime at Tempe. I could see him at Georgia Tech in Atlanta.
I can't see him in Georgia Tech though.
You couldn't?
Atlanta, yes.
I don't
Georgia
see him in
Tech. no.
Scottsdale.
I don't think Georgia
Yeah.
Tech's going to put up with his antics.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you hire Prime, you know it's all about him.
He'd be recruiting the wrong because
Ah.
Tech kids still have to be eligible, and that's a tough school. That's a tough school to recruit.
I mean,
to.
both Eddie and Jason are saying it's too cold for Deion out there. It's too cold for me. I know that.
Here's my question, and it's truly
Sorry,
a
go ahead.
question. How do you do this whole SWAC thing, and you go into it like you're selling that like the only reason you're getting into coaching, the only reason you're doing this is to elevate the SWAC, HBCU, and then you bolt the first job you get that's not an HBCU?
Well, I mean, he put in 2.5 years. I mean, he did raise the awareness.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he
Okay.
did.
Okay.
But if he ultimately doesn't take this job, I mean, maybe he's just, ultimately won't, and he'll stay.
Okay.
He is SWAC, he says. Who's more SWAC than
That's what he
SWAC
says,
is
but
back.
you're not looking very SWAC when you bolt for the first thing you're offered outside of the SWAC.
Yeah,
That's my point.
And I'm a Deion fan. I like Deion a lot.
Do you?
Yeah, I would have loved for Auburn to give
Not
Deion
so
a
much.
shot
I
just
know.
to see how. You're not a Deion fan?
Mm-mm.
Is he too much about himself?
Mm-hmm.
That's
He's a self promoter.
to me, he's a splashy hire.
Oh yeah.
Like that's the kind of guy who's going to divert more attention to Auburn from Alabama.
But I'll tell you this, watching him on game day where they did it from Jackson State,
Mm-hmm.
he's one of those motivational guys that he seems like everything he touches turns to gold. He's done a really good job at Jackson State.
Yeah, but when he leaves, to me, I'm like, okay, you come in, you do all this, you throw all this money, and then you leave.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna leave them with like, are they gonna be able to afford the
Well, there's no buyouts.
you know, like
Mm-hmm.
no. I'm saying, like, is Jackson State going to be able to afford life after Deion, or have you created such a thing that like now they tank completely because you're not there to support it financially?
He's put them in a better spot. They've got more money than they had.
Yeah.
They've got more exposure than they've ever had. So I think he's done his job. I'm interested to see if it works out. I don't know if it will or won't. I bet he can recruit. Do know that.
Well, if he can throw money at people, maybe.
Okay, let's pour one more of these.
Yeah, let's change the subject.
Questions,
I'm going to get in trouble.
And I'll get you guys out of here.
Not supposed
Or you guys
to
can bartend when we're
talking bad about Deion Sanders in my home state. That's probably not a good look, huh?
I like your pencil earrings.
Oh, aren't these the greatest?
Oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah. Okay, y'all, I have to shout out, and this is sad, and I'm sorry, I don't want to be a downer, but my friend, one of my really good friends who's in the business, she's an academic advisor. She's been all over the place. The amount of student athletes' lives she's touched is like ridiculous. She's an incredible human being. Just got diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer.
Oh man!
But she sent me these earrings like not that long ago, and she was like, "I saw these, thought of you. You have to have them."
Oh man, that's awesome.
So
shout out, yeah.
Jeez.
At least, yeah.
Very depressing.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't want to do that, but
yeah,
it's the truth.
Way to bring the
sorry.
lights down.
Back to Deion.
Yeah.
No, we appreciate everybody asking questions and jumping on with us live. Again, we're going to stay for a few more minutes. We're going to talk about the Hugh Freeze situation. If you're just jumping on board, Hugh Freeze has been hired by Auburn as their next head coach.
And this is because since I don't really pay attention to the logistics anymore. When does the transfer portal open and begin like open recruiting for people to start?
Well, I think technically it already has. I mean, there's already some names that have come out today that are in the portal. As far as like signing those guys, it's just when your, I guess, regular signing period is.
Because I was just wondering, like, okay, now that we have a coach in place, how does that affect anyone who might want to come to, or Auburn is looking to bring in? Because I mean, this day and age, you really can, as a coach, turn a program around in 2 years.
Oh yeah. Well, look at Lincoln Riley. I mean, Lincoln Riley's one game away from the college football playoff.
Yeah, I mean,
and they were at 4-8 last year.
Based on where you had to have gone in years past, where it took 4 years pretty much to turn over and get what you need. So I'm just wondering, like,
which Coach Freeze turned over Ole Miss with JUCO players. So I'll be interested to see if he feels the same way.
Anybody that was decent on that Liberty roster, if they still like him, I assume they come with him.
Yeah.
If I'm an Auburn player, an offensive guy especially, I'm probably standing pat.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens
So
there.
I was just curious about it because the transfer portal is one of those things that I'm never quite.
Okay. Here's this one from Chad. This is what we'll let it go on, and then you guys can hang out, and Brownie's going to come in, and Dunaway's going to jump in.
Okay.
If you're stuck on an island, and you can only depend on, and this is a bad scenario for either one of you guys.
Oh, God.
You can only depend on one next round member
to
rescue you. Who would you choose?
To rescue me or to hang out with me?
I mean, none of us are going to be able to rescue you.
I was going to say, okay, I got my answer. If I'm hanging out with someone, it's probably going to be you, just because I know you the best. I would be most comfortable hanging out with you. Rescue me, Brown. I just feel like he's the most responsible of the group.
Okay.
And less awkward.
And he's sitting right there.
And he's sitting right in front of me. No, I feel like Brown could get it done. Like Brown's like that guy, I just, in my mind at least, and I don't know him well enough, so maybe I'm
Well, just to let you know, he's like me. He pays the guys. Some shit goes down. That's
okay, as long as he doesn't bill me for it later.
Yeah, but we're not going to be able to pay anybody.
Organize it, get it done, get me off of here, dude.
Okay.
Kelly, you?
I'm going to go strictly based on social media presence. I'm going to take Dunaway. Because
he can tweet it.
He would tweet it, and hopefully at least someone that follows him would be able to get me off the island.
His SOSs?
Yes. I would hope that would be the case, but I don't know. So
we would probably still both be stuck on the island.
calling you.
Cheers
Chad
to that.
says
I would
LT
say-
would dip out. Jim would make it weird.
Oh, LT would never get me off the island. I have no doubt I would be stuck on there for life if I was.
Okay, you two are the best. Y'all can hang out, do
He's
whatever.
like, "Get this over with."
No, Kelly Hunter, Brittany Wagner. We do this each and every week. We're doing Ask Us Anything. It is Next Round Cocktail Hour. Brought to you by our friends at Constellation. We knocked the bottle out.
Did we?
Chianti, yeah.
The
Awesome.
reserve.
Pick up a bottle of this Rufino at all of your local supermarkets. It's available out there. And Blakelee's Bouquets.
Ugh,
Smells
lovely
so
job.
good.
My
Lovely job this
favorite.
week, guys.
Anniversary arrangements, baby gifts, birthday flowers, wedding flowers, symphony, funeral flowers. I can't say the sympathy.
Sympathy.
Not or symphony.
Or
Sympathy.
symphony.
Sympathy.
Either way.
Blakeele's
Like
Bouquets.
Dunaway's ready. He's like,
.com.
get out of
I know.
here.
Did y'all
We're
have a
ready.
Good Thanksgiving.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
It was,
Yeah.
we made it. Good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, did you eat all white food?
I did.
Uh,
I did.
We talked about you at Thanksgiving. We were like, Kelly wouldn't eat this. It's not all white.
I'm so boring. It's okay. I'm sorry. Just I
No,
just
all
really
good.
wanted to check on y'all,
You
make sure
guys don't
everybody's
go
good.
anywhere. We're about to talk Hugh Freeze. Brown, you coming over?
Brief commercial break. Are we just?
Brown,
Are we gonna?
switching over the
No,
mic?
we
Oh,
should
we're
just
gonna stop?
Oh, okay.
We are going to stop.
All right.
So
Be back
stay
in a
tuned.
minute.
Bye, everybody.
Stay tuned.